I have sat beside more dying people than I can count. Kings, farmers, mothers, men who owned half a city, and men who owned one sock. At the end, every one of them wanted to tell me something, and it was never their victories. The victories never came up, not once. What they wanted to say, with whatever breath was left, was what they had understood too late. I have carried those lessons for centuries. Tonight, I will give you 9 of them. 8 will change how you live. The 9th, I will warn you now, is the one that made even the hardest of them weep. Not from sorrow. You will understand when we arrive. You are still young enough to use them. That is more than the people who taught them to me could say. The first, you have spent your life paying a debt you never agreed to, the opinions of other people. You took out that loan as a child, when their approval kept you safe, and you have been making payments ever since. The clothes chosen for eyes that never looked, the words swallowed at the table, the work you did not begin because of what someone might say. Here is what the dying know. The judges you performed for were never watching. They were too busy performing for judges of their own. I once knew a man who rearranged his entire life to impress people he did not even like. On his last day, he laughed about it. It was the only time I heard him laugh freely. Do not wait that long for the joke. The second, almost nothing you feared ever arrived. But you lived through all of it anyway. 100 times. In the dark, at 3 in the morning. The ruin that never came. The illness that never came. The abandonment that never came. The fear itself was the event. The fear was the thing that happened to you. I watched a woman spend 30 years afraid of losing her house. She never lost the house. She lost the 30 years. When dread visits you tonight, ask it one question. Has this happened, or am I only rehearsing it? You will find you are almost always rehearsing, and a rehearsal can be ended. You simply stand up and leave the theater. The third, people are not possessions, they are seasons. Some come for a winter, to teach you endurance. Some come for a spring, to wake something in you. Very few are meant to walk the whole road beside you. And this was never a flaw in them or in you. It is the shape of the road. The ones who learn this too late spend decades gripping a friend who has already left, in every way but body, gripping a love that ended years before either of them said so. A hand that grips cannot receive anything new. It is full. Let them go with both hands open. Thank the season for what it grew. Some of what it grew is you, the fourth. Your body keeps the ledger. Every shorted night of sleep, every meal eaten standing in a hurry, every year the legs went unused. Nothing is forgotten. The body is a patient accountant, and somewhere in your 50s or 60s it presents the bill. You do not have a body the way you have a coat. You are not wearing it. You are it. I have watched brilliant minds dim early, because their owners treated the flesh like a cart for carrying the head around. The mind they were so proud of was made of the very thing they neglected. Care for it the way you would care for the only horse that can carry you home, because that is what it is. The fifth, discipline feels like a cage. Every young person I have ever spoken with believes this. Rise early, hold your tongue, do the work. And it feels like bars closing in while everyone else runs free. Then, somewhere in the middle of life, the ones who held the discipline look around. They are free, free of debts, free of the chaos that swallowed their friends, free to say no, free to leave. And the ones who ran free in their youth are the ones in cages now, cages of habit, cages of consequence. Discipline was never the cage, it was the door. It always opens outward, and it only opens slowly. The sixth, 2 men lose the same fortune. One is destroyed. He drinks, he withers, he dies bitter within 10 years. The other grieves for a season, then builds a quieter life, and tells me, near the end, it was the best thing that ever happened to him. Same event, 2 different stories. The event did not decide their fate. The story did. This is the lesson the dying repeat most often. Most of their suffering came not from what happened to them, but from the story they kept telling themselves about what happened. The wound closed years ago. The telling kept it open. You cannot always choose the event. You are always the one holding the pen. The 7th. You already know what to do. You have known for years. The conversation you need to have, the work you need to begin, the habit you need to end. Your problem has never been a lack of knowledge. It has been a lack of action. Dressed up as waiting. Waiting for readiness. And readiness is a guest who never arrives. I have stood at the door with people who waited 50 years for that guest. The table set, the candle burning down. No one came. An old friend of mine, a Roman who wrote letters late into the night, put it plainly 2,000 years ago. It is not that we are given a short life, he wrote. It is that we waste so much of the one we are given. He was writing about you. He just did not know your name yet. The ones who lived fully did not feel ready either. They were afraid. And they began anyway. Begin anyway. Those 2 words have saved more lives than any medicine I have seen. The 8, enough is not an amount, it is a decision. I have known men with treasuries who were poor, because every morning they woke up needing more, and a shepherd with 1 lamp who was rich decided he was. The ones who learn this too late spend their strongest decades hunting a number. The number moves. It always moves. That is its nature because the hunger was never about the number. They reach the end, having traded the only currency that mattered. Their mornings, their attention, the faces of their children growing. For a pile they cannot carry 1 step past the last breath. Decide what enough is. Write it down. When you reach it, stop hunting and start living. The hunt will whisper to you forever. You do not have to answer. The 9th. And this one I will say gently, because it is the one that makes the dying weep. And not from sorrow, no one at the end speaks of the years. They speak of moments. The smell of bread in a doorway, a hand held in a hospital corridor, rain on 1 particular afternoon with 1 particular person. That meant nothing at the time and now means everything. The grand plans dissolve, the small moments remain. They were the life, the rest was arrangement. Which means something that should change your evening tonight. You are living, right now, in the middle of what you will one day call the good days. They do not announce themselves. They are dressed as ordinary Tuesdays. Look up. One of them may be passing through the room. 9 lessons. Each one was paid for with an entire human life. And the people who paid asked me, in their different ways, to pass them on. So they are simple, I know they are simple. But simple is not the same as easy. The proof is that almost everyone hears these truths young. and almost everyone learns them old. You have been given a strange advantage tonight, the end of the story, told at the beginning. Sit with them. Let them find their place in you.